flying puns. I think puns are great, but I just that's like the irony.
But yeah, okay. Let's. I don't know if Suppy is ready to jump on. I mentioned that we try to bring him on around 10 or so. But while let me chat with him a little bit, see if he's ready. Why don't you guys bring up a little bit about the ESEA? If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a team league that is going on. We actually have the loser bracket finals coming up tomorrow. Sam, why don't you tell us a little bit about the finals?
Well, it's going to be awesome is pretty much my best part right there. But no, it's going to be the loser round or lower bracket. I don't really call it loser round because none of these clans are losers. I hate that saying. It makes it sound like it's
lower bracket,
less significant. It's not. They're incredible teams. And we're going to be watching, or I'm going to be casting the Czech 6 versus its Gosu match there. And that is just going to be incredible there. Now, both clans are very close to being incredibly hard to beat there. I mean, it's really hard to call it. I mean, there is actually a thing on there right now. Here you go. Check this out. It's it's a little list in there. It's for people what they think is going to happen. You know, their predictions about everything.
And I mean,
right now the lineups is going to be a Suppy versus STX, Mystics versus Ostoji. Ostoji. My God, I always butcher that name. Perfect versus Huangsin, Sleep, and T-Gun. And I like all those other names because they're very easy to say. Ostoji, not so much. But
their matchups too. Swangson is really good, man. I would be watching him. I've seen him play a lot of games. Swangson is a dirty player. He's Korean, so obviously he has a Korean blood, and that natural advantage is inherent when it comes to StarCraft. I'm convinced it's a genetic thing when it comes to Koreans in StarCraft. Honestly convinced.
Well, it's a thing. Like when they're born, we all know that they're given their name, the sex, and then their StarCraft race. So
yeah, it's just like.
It's one of those things.
Like like they have ID tags in the and like in primaries where like it's pink for a girl, blue for a boy. In Korea, they have race colors: red for Zerg, green for Chaos, blue for Terran.
Yeah, and then when they do like the footprint thingy, it's actually just the stamp of the race. That's all it is.
That's exactly all it is.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. But yeah, Huang Sin, very good.
I'm gonna be watching this, man. I gotta remember that it's on.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. I mean, this whole season has been pretty cool. There's been 20 teams that have been participating, and then it kind of made it into the playoffs. And we saw that both Czech 6 and Infinity 7 made it to the winners bracket final, but Infinity 7 ended up winning that 3-2. And now its Gosu has kind of been battling their way since the beginning of the losers bracket. They even took out Light Esports previously 3-1 to battle it out against Czech 6 tomorrow. But if you guys are ready, I think we can bring on Suppy and kind of talk a little bit more about the ESEA and talk a little bit more about him as a player.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So let's.
It's also worth mentioning he wrote that Team Liquid post. Suppy is the reason that
he hooked
post
me up
exists.
pretty good.
Yeah,
he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. I love him.
You're gonna have to change around all the things
I
again.
know. I'm so excited for this. All right, let's see if we can jump him in here.
What's on the agenda for the show? Currently, well, we've already covered a couple of the things. We did Friday is Find Day information. We did LAN events, the Miami and DC, and then we're going to be recapping a little bit of the ESEA stuff with Coney, or Suppy. What's going on? Oh, he's in.
He is. How's it going?
Suppy.
What's up, you guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hey.
you perfectly. So,
Hello?
Can you hear us okay?
Oh.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then we'll
Alright, so this is, our first episode of the night, but we kind of wanted to bring you on and talk to you a little bit about the ESEA because, you've been doing so much work with it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how long you've kind of been helping out with the ESEA? Suppy?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear us again?
Oh, sorry. I think there's some lag or something right there.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it's good now. Maybe.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but it keeps cutting out. All right, try again.
Okay. So, basically, the first question that I'd like to know is. It's starting to die.
Still pretty bad.
Seems to be lagging really weird. I may rejoin the call.
Okay. That's really weird.
Alright.
Okay, alright.
Is it better?
It seems to be better.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good.
Alright, let's try this again, shall we? I mean, why not have everything that can go wrong will go wrong? But, so, you know...
It's kind of a first episode, man.
Exactly.
It's the pilot.
It's the pilot. It's got to
If you don't go
this.
down a glorious fire, you're going to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Pretty much. So, Suppy, how long have you been working and helping out with the ESEA? Skype? Are you having issues?
So I didn't catch the end of... Alright, I've been working... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I got the question though.
Okay.
So I started doing ESEA write-ups last season, ESEA season 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like by my own accord, just like volunteering, because I thought, you know, such a great league should get more coverage, right?
Yeah.
So for season 11, they put me on their staff as a writer, so I was officially working like as coverage for ESEA. And yeah, so right now we're in season 11 and heading to the grand finals soon.
Yeah. So how do you think this season has gone in comparison to last season?
Okay, so this season has been going really great, I think. I think the coverage has been a lot better. All you guys helping out casting has really, really been great for the league. And, you know, so far we haven't had any hiccups. Like in previous seasons, we've had a few hiccups, especially during the grand finals and stuff. But this season has been running pretty smoothly. And the coverage is a lot better thanks to the write-ups, the casting, everything. So I hope more people start watching.
Yeah, I sure hope so too. They've been some really fun games to cast for. I mean, there's been some crazy stuff that's gone on. Not a lot of them have been like, you know, those excruciatingly long, boring, drawn-out games or just like, come on, kill somebody. But it's not that way at all. Like these teams are just really kind of going all out, trying to win there, and I like it. You know, it's not all cheese there, of course, because nobody wants to see just cheese, but it's, you know, it's deviations from a lot of the meta gameplay there, which is a lot of fun to cast for. Just because after a while it gets very monotonous, and so it's just fun to have a really interestingly awesome league with all these high-level players playing it. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really exciting league. But Suppy, how about you tell us a little bit from your point of view as a player? You know, you've been able to play for Czech 6 this entire season. How do you think they have performed?
As in my team?
Yes.
We've been doing pretty well this season, and we're actually in the process of playing It's Gosu the past couple of days for the losers finals. So if we win this, we will be in the grand finals again. And so far we've been performing pretty well, I think, especially with the addition of Sleep, who's really helped us a lot in the Clan Wars. But yeah, we've been trying to do a lot more practices together and stuff like that, and I feel like this season we've really started to bond together as a team.
Well, that's a good thing to do there, too. I mean, that way you could practice better, you could have the best possible builds at every single time there. That's always good.
Yeah, and ESEA, I think, really favors, you know, helping out your teammates out in order to help your team out, because it's not like typical team leagues where it's the best of 9 winners format, where you can just have one star player on your team who just dominates everybody and all kills the other team. Yeah. I think ESEA is pretty interesting in the fact that it's 4 best of 3s that each player has to individually play. So, you know, it really strengthens your team a lot by having all your players, you know, up to par, not just one solid player.
Yeah, I mean, that is really cool to see that there are tournaments out there that kind of go for a different style. Like, I mean, we are so used to seeing the GSCL style or the all-kill style, but, you know, it's nice to see, like, the EG Master Cup style with that kind of best of 3s and things like that. So, is anybody else, you know, Wendy or Sam, you guys have any other questions you want to bring up in regards to the ESEA real quick?
Well,
did you want to go first, Sam? You go first.
Sorry. Yeah, what are your thoughts on its Gosu? Like, I don't know if the last game's been played. Last game's probably tomorrow, right?
Right. I think the last game is played maybe tonight, later tonight. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, you're gonna be casting it tomorrow, right? So that'll be really, really exciting.
About 9 p.m. or so. But how? What are your? You see, I guess I probably shouldn't ask you what your thoughts are on there, because you playing it.
You know, I think it's really, really exciting matchup. We've got previous season's winners. It's Gosu, and they actually knocked us out in the grand finals last season too. So it's kind of like a rematch from last season's grand finals. Czech 6 versus It's Gosu. Only this time we're in the losers finals.
Yeah, but you have a chance to get back up in there, which is definitely pretty cool stuff there. And it looks like you guys haven't played Infinity 7 this season yet, right?
No. Czech 6 did. We did in the winners finals. We got knocked out 3-2.
Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. It's right there. I was looking. I was like, God, they haven't played them yet, and it's in front. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you guys have a chance to come back there. That's man, that would be so cool for you guys to get up into it, and then that way, if you guys win, you totally play Eye of the Tiger the whole time. That'd be great stuff right there.
Yeah, it'll be tough though. Infinity 7's had a super season. Like I think they're 18-0, so they've been undefeated the entire season. So they're doing pretty dang good this season.
Is Infinity 7 really from Singapore?
Their players are not from Singapore, but I think their manager or their owner is from Singapore, so that's why their flag is Singapore.
I was looking at the bracket. That's really weird. But Sam, I actually have a question for you, man. I mean, you got involved with the ECA and you're on the court, like you were in the help, and I think that's something that's really awesome, and not enough pros, semi-pros get involved with. Like, I feel, to a certain extent, off the top of my head, In Control, Destiny, and maybe a handful of other guys are really involved with the community, constantly connecting with them on a day-to-day basis. Of course, we stream and, commentate what you're saying, and what you're playing, and interact with fans in the chat, but you get involved with the ECA. Do you feel like more players should do that, or even the guys like, up-and-coming guys, like, is that good for them to get involved in, like, how they go about doing that? Like, what's your whole thought on that?
I think it really just depends on how passionate you are about esports. If you're interested in being more than just a player, then, try and find these outlets. I definitely enjoy just being a part of esports and doing all these kind of side things, and I've been doing it since I started organizing my first LANs when I was in high school. So, I've really enjoyed being involved, and that's kind of the reason I do it. I'm not sure that's probably the same case for everybody. Some people would probably just prefer to just play, but I think everybody, this is a great hobby, and I think a lot of people would have fun doing, something that they love, right?
I just want to jump in real quick. I mean, you are kind of involved in a lot of different projects. You want to tell us a little bit about some of those things? I know you of course, are on Czech 6, but you also play in the Collegiate Star League.
Yeah, so I play for my team at UC Berkeley, and I'm also the club president for our esports club here, and we're actually really hoping to get a lot of stuff done this next semester. We're hoping to incorporate League of Legends, all the other esports, and try and become, one of the big clubs on campus. We don't want to just be the side club that's, just sort of tossed to the side. We want to be one of the premier clubs that everybody knows about, and establish ourselves as a mainstream kind of thing. So that's one thing I'm involved in. And ESEA, I'm involved in that as well. And yeah.
Cool. So anybody else have any other questions, kind of not just about ESEA, but about anything at all?
What's your favorite thing to have been in so far, like competition wise?
I think this one is I think I'd have to say MLG Anaheim, just because of the results I got there, which really surprised myself, because I was totally not expecting that. And so that was definitely one of my favorite competitions, because a lot of people saw it and were commenting about it, and I definitely felt very happy with how I did at that event.
Yeah, I definitely heard you kick some butt there. Probably had a great time there. Did you meet anybody like really that you wanted to meet there, and did you get mingled up with the Super High League or anything?
Oh yeah, right. That's actually one of the things the part I most enjoyed about MLG Anaheim was because all the WCS competitors were there. Basically, every single person I played on ladder was there, and I met pretty much everybody. And it was such an exciting experience. It was really great to start to meet people in real life, and you get the BM people who are really BM on ladder, but like super cool in person. So it's just really nice to meet everybody. And in terms of meeting famous people, I'm still a little bit intimidated by them and didn't really approach them that much. But I did say hi to a few of them. A couple of them talked to me a little bit, so I did better than I did the previous year at Anaheim, where I didn't talk to any famous person.
It's so intimidating, dude. And even talking to you, it's like you feel almost on edge talking to people you idolize to an extent. And I mean, I watched you through MLG. I took the weekend off and watched that entire MLG. Like, I made sure I did not miss a single match and watch every single stream via replays and lots of stuff. And I was following your the brackets because I love seeing what players are taking the brackets by storm. And I don't know, like I like to call myself like someone who likes to jump in at the game, but I immediately start to looking at it as a player, because if they came out of nowhere, they have a lot to them, and I think that's someone that not only you should keep an eye on, but really start to realize that there are people out there in esports that are going to take this. You're going to see a Bonjour in SC2. We haven't had one yet, and it's going to be a Bonjour out of nowhere. And I mean, you're taking MLG, like, you blew through a lot of players, a lot of well-established players that I don't think anybody would have expected. I mean, how does that, like, obviously I think this is kind of, extending upon Sam's question, like, how do you feel after the fact? I mean, obviously you're proud of yourself, you're impressed with yourself, but where do you go from here as a player? Do you feel like you just keep on practicing hard, do you keep on doing the same thing, or what is your direction?
Well, I mean, I definitely feel like I got a major confidence boost, from competing at Anaheim, because it demonstrated that, I'm able to actually take games off the top tier players, the most famous people, and in some cases even beat them. So it definitely was a huge confidence boost for me, and it actually really motivated me to start playing more as well, because it's sort of like I just need a little bit of improvement, and I can actually, start consistently getting these kinds of results, beating the top players. So it was really motivating, and I'm training hard. Hopefully, I'm actually taking summer classes right now, but I'm going to be training hard for MLG Raleigh. So I hope to do well there.
You're going
as
to
well.
Raleigh.
Cool. I mean, I know I'll definitely be at Raleigh. Sam, are you planning on going to Raleigh?
I probably will be. Yeah.
So we'll have to hang out in Raleigh, Suppy. That'll be pretty awesome. You can brag about all your accomplishments of taking out all the high-level players again.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
But, I understand how difficult it must be to kind of juggle school and StarCraft. I mean, you're involved in so many projects. Do you have any kind of, like, hints or anything that you could, or secrets to being able to work on so many projects and not kind of get bogged down in one thing?
I think it's really just a thing of you have to prioritize things and focus as much as you can on the specific thing that you're doing at the moment. So for like schoolwork, I try and phase out all thoughts of like StarCraft 2 while I'm doing it and try and just finish it as quickly as possible. But it's not always the case. I do get distracted a lot, and I wish I didn't, because I feel like I get a lot more accomplished otherwise. But yeah, I mean, it's a juggling act. You gotta try and balance things as best you can.
What do you do to make sure you don't get burned out from it all?
I think esports is my outlet. It's a really good stress reliever. When I hang out with all my friends in the club, we do social events. We go bowling. We play poker. We go karaoke. We do stuff like that. Yeah, so...
So, do you like to sing then?
I sing, but I wouldn't say I'm very good.
Well, we see now you brought it up, man, and now I kind of feel like you gotta sing sometime. You know,
I might. If I win MLG, I'll sing.
Okay.
I'll sing a song for you guys.
Put up a karaoke video or something on YouTube.
It's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
I think it's also worth noting that Suppy said something very important about esports and StarCraft in general. It's not stressful for him, and that is incredibly important. I think so many players are so stressed out by StarCraft because of how frustrating it is. Me personally, like, if I lose a game and I know why I lost the game and I lost the game because I did something stupid, it sucks, man. It really sucks. And I think it's awesome and that's probably why you've had so much success and you continue to experience successes because you take the game as a pleasure, as really fun. And I want to compliment you on that. I don't think enough players today are ever going to be like that. They don't see it as strictly fun. They see it as way too much of kind of like work stresses you out, and the way that StarCraft stresses you out. And that's something you don't do, and man, it compliments you all the way. That's really awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I see a lot of people raging and stuff, but I think I can understand it, but also I think it like stresses you out too much if you do that. So I think it's better if you kind of appreciate the game more, I guess.
Yeah. I was also wondering, how do you stay such a nice guy for the most part there? Because out of all, like, a lot of the higher end people that I've ever talked to, you've been pretty much the nicest one out of all of them. You do so much for everyone. It's just amazing. It really, it makes me happy that I actually knew you, you know? Because you find so many of them that just seem like they're in their own world and they're just so important that they don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, how do you stay so nice?
This is a kind of awkward question to answer, I feel like.
Hey, awkward it up right there. It's good. I've succeeded.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just you should treat everybody as if, you know, I mean, like you would want to be treated, obviously. Yeah. So, I mean, that's obviously the very standard golden rule that everybody talks about, but I think it's pretty applicable, and I think people should follow it. I think it's a good way to interact with other people.
That's good.
It's easier to be nice than it is to be mean to people, in my opinion. It's so much easier to be nice to people.
Right, it makes you feel bad if you're being a jerk to somebody, I feel like. I mean, I guess some people have thick skin or something.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I work in a pharmacy, man, and I see a lot of cruel people. And then you see a lot of nice people, and you just realize that it's so polarized that why would you ever be mean to somebody? If no one can ever say anything bad about someone being nice, ever.
Yeah. And even if you're looking at it just from a purely practical standpoint, I think, sometimes you want to be nice to people just because who knows what they're going to go on to do and accomplish in their life. You know, what if they become super successful? You don't want to be the person who was kicking them down when they were not famous or whatever. You want to be the person who is kind of helping them up, and then they'll remember that. And that's sort of how I think, if you want to take a purely practical approach to it, because sometimes I've denied people like practice games when they weren't so good, and then they ended up becoming really, really good. And I learned that even if I think, I probably shouldn't be playing them, I should give them a couple games every now and then and try and help them out, because you never know where they're going to go in the future.
Yeah. Now you're going to get 30 people hitting you up for practice games. Yeah. Like the 30 people that are watching that are not me, Sam, and Nan are going to be like hitting you up for practice games. Like, yo, Suppy, I'm ranked 64 bronze. Let's play some games. I need to work on my macro.
Yeah. No, my only last question for you Suppy, is what got you started in StarCraft? Did you start in regular StarCraft and work your way up to StarCraft 2, or was it just StarCraft 2?
Yeah, I started in StarCraft 1. My brother introduced it to me when I was like 10 or 11 or something. So I was really, really involved in that for a long time. And actually, I was like one of the first. I was the first YouTube commentator when I was 14, but it was really, really bad. My voice was really high pitched. My analysis was really bad. So I was pretty infamous on Team Liquid for being like the prepubescent commentator.
Okay, now do you videos or it didn't happen?
I did have videos.
Yeah, video. Oh my gosh! Please link it.
Okay, I'll type it into the Skype chat. I guess you can share it. But it's
you don't want to show you don't want to show the people in the channel? Oh, don't be embarrassed about that stuff.
Everybody's gonna start somewhere, man. I think my first casts were absolutely atrocious, and even now, everybody has room for improvement, no matter who you are. Well, looking back on it, I'm like, why did I ever think I could do this?
So, do you plan on doing any other commentating stuff, or was that just kind of back in Brood War days, and you're just really focusing on as a player now?
That was a really long time ago, and sometimes I occasionally do some commentary for, say, like King of the Hill, Top 200 King of the Hill. I've done commentary for them one time, but I definitely love commentating. It's really, really fun. I'm just not sure if I have the time to play and commentate at the same time anymore, so yeah.
I've also noticed it is kind of harder, people to, the higher end people to actually do the commentating when they actually play, because they get so into it, they have to just go crazy with all their macro, and it just, they kind of forget to talk along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Notice that. I'm not the best in interviews.
What are you talking about? It's been pretty good. But okay, does anybody else have any other questions or anything?
Any questions from the stream would be a good place to end here. Or any questions for us? I mean, I always like to turn the tables a little bit on the interviewee.
Well, my question for you guys is, how did you guys get involved in casting, and are you looking forward to casting the ESEA finals?
Yeah, I definitely am. But I always jump in first. So let's go, Nan. You go first.
Oh, okay. So I got started back in 2010 when I first saw MLG. I was like, this is awesome. I want to cast StarCraft. And I started casting my own games, like my placement matches on the ladder, like, One Base Colossus and all that crazy shenanigans. And it was horrible. And then I just kind of worked my way up casting amateur stuff, like among my friends, and then doing YouTube. And then I was like, you know what? I actually want to try to get a little bit better about this. I'm going to try to contact some leagues. And over time, I've gotten lucky enough to cast quite a few different qualifying events and tournaments. And I don't know, StarCraft is just my passion, and I just love being able to talk about it and cast it. Sam, you want to go next? Oh, I didn't say about the ESEA stuff. I'm very excited about the ESEA stuff. This has probably been my favorite team league so far, just from the matches. Like, I was able to cast some of the early stuff with like PMS H2O and like Visionary Gaming before they were Monomaniac, and I don't know, I've just been having a blast following the teams as they progressed up to this point. But that's my little saying on ESEA stuff. So go ahead, Sam.
All right. Well, it's really hard to say where I totally started out there. I guess I'm gonna have to say it was right around the beta, and after the beta too. I basically just started out with the online, the SC2 VoIP client thing that you could actually chat while the game was going along, and I used to watch high level play and everything, but there was just never enough videos for me to watch. So I was like, well, you know what? I want to go ahead and set these up myself. So I just wound up going out there, and I would ask like whoever I could find to play, and I would get two people together, and then I'd wind up getting spectators, and then I would just start casting it over the VoIP, and then somewhere along the way somebody said you need to record this, and I was like, okay, and I did. I made a YouTube channel, and then another friend's like, hey, you should start streaming, and bam, I started streaming. Then I got picked up by a couple big clans to do all of their casting stuff, and then it went from there on, and been doing really cool there. And that ESEA stuff is definitely some of the biggest stuff that I'm getting into. I mean, it brings the best games, really. It's really hard to say which ones are the best, but they're definitely some of the best ones I've ever got to cast for. So, all right, Wendy, you go ahead.
Oh, my turn.